Hey YouTube, how's it going? It's Quentin here and welcome to tutorial number 29, and in this tutorial I am going to show you guys how to make rounded corners using CSS3. Now I just want to mention that rounded corners are new to CSS3, so if you're using an outdated browser, then something like Internet Explorer 8 or something like that probably isn't going to support these rounded corners, but as long as your browser is up to date, then this should work. Okay, so if it doesn't work, just go ahead and update your browser and the rounded corners will display. Okay, now to save time, what I've done is I've created a div on my web page and I've given that a class of rounded box, and I've just written the word apples inside of that div. Okay, and then I went ahead and I gave it some styling as well. So I selected it by class, which I've shown you guys how to do this before, and I gave it a background color of orange. I gave it a width of 200 pixels. I set the text to be in the center, and then I just gave it a padding of 50 pixels on the top and 50 pixels on the bottom, and then padding of 0 pixels on the right and 0 pixels on the left. And this is basically the output. So we get the word apples in a big orange box. Okay, now let's go ahead and actually use CSS to round off these corners, because right now they're pretty sharp. Okay, so all you have to do is go ahead and say border radius, just like that. So border hyphen radius, and then you'll go ahead and put in a value. So I'm going to go ahead and just put in a value of 5 pixels, and this is going to be very subtle. You might not even be able to see this on my screen recorder or on YouTube, but if I click refresh, you can see that the corners change from being really sharp to a little bit rounded. And if I went ahead and I just made this a lot bigger, so let's go ahead and say something like 50 pixels, you'll be able to see this a lot more clearly. So if I go ahead now and click refresh, you can see now the corner has really been rounded by quite a lot of space. Okay, so that's basically how to round all of the corners. But what happens if you decided, well, hey, I'd really like only this corner to be rounded and then the rest of them to be sharp? Well, then you can round only the top left by doing it this way. So let's go ahead and just get rid of this. And what we're actually going to have to do here is type in border top left radius. So that is going to round off the top left corner, and we'll set that equal to 50 pixels, and we'll leave the rest. Okay, so now when we go over to Firefox and click refresh, we've only rounded the top left corner of our box. And again, if I wanted to do this to the top right corner, then I could just change the word right or the word left to right. And if I go ahead now and click refresh, then I've only rounded the right corner. And if I wanted to do the bottom corners, then I'd go ahead and just change bottom. So I change top to bottom, and we'd have border bottom right radius. And I didn't save that, so let me just go ahead and click save. Come back here, click refresh, and now we've rounded only the bottom right. And again, if I wanted to change this to the bottom left, then I just change the word right to left. And when I go ahead and click refresh, then I've changed the bottom left radius as well. Okay, so this does work in most browsers now, but if you want to make this kind of work in some older versions of Firefox or some older versions of Chrome, then they used to actually do something, or used to use something called a WebKit. So Chrome used to use WebKit border radius, and that would make the rounded border appear rounded in an older version of Chrome. Okay, but like I said, the newer version actually supports it without the WebKit, so you can go ahead and do that and it'll work in the new version of Chrome just fine. But if you're using an older version of Chrome, go ahead and just include that word WebKit, and I think that handles Safari as well. And then if you wanted to make this work in an older version of Firefox, then you'd have to include Moz, but then I think some of this stuff actually has to change as well, so it would have to be bottom right radius. I can't remember, but that's just if it's really old. You can make use of those WebKits or those renderers just like that. But like I said, this standard version like this should work in most of the new browsers nowadays. So that's actually all I have for you guys in this video, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Please feel free to leave a comment, like or share the video. It's really gonna help my channel grow, and I will see you guys next time.